So hello. I'm wearing something different in this part is because I'm having to re-record a clip that I don't know what happened to it. I have all the rest of the clips. I did delete some stuff off my camera, but I don't feel like I deleted it. But maybe I accidentally did. I don't know. But yeah, this is me re-recording that part. And it was the beginning, so I needed it. So that's why I'm wearing something different. I'm recording this after the fact, clearly. But hello, welcome back to my vlog. I'm gonna say this because I'm pretty sure I probably said it when I originally recorded it. I want some advice on if I handled the situation wrong, because I got mixed advice. Some people said that I handled the situation right. Some people said that they wouldn't have put up with as much as I put up with. Some people said it was only a few days, you could have stuck it out. Some people were understanding. So I want y'all advice, even though if I had to do the situation over again, I wouldn't do anything differently. I probably would have kicked her out before I did. I feel like I was very nice. I didn't say anything in the moments when they were happening. When I did say something, I felt like I handled it in a mature, adult, respectful way. If it happened again, I wouldn't do anything differently. Like I said, I probably would have kicked her out a lot sooner. But, you know, I want advice. I mean, y'all's opinions don't necessarily matter to me. I'm a grown-ass woman and, you know, I do what's right for me, and I am at a point in my life where I'm being selfish and living for me. It took me 36 years to get here, so at this point it's about making myself happy, and if you're disturbing my happiness and my peace, then you gotta go. So it is what it is. But you know, I do want healthy criticism or advice. So with that being said, I'm gonna start the story and then I'm gonna end it, because the rest of it I already have where I recorded the other day. I'm just missing the beginning. Y'all know weeks ago, me, my mom, my son, we went to Disney, and I told y'all that my niece was supposed to have been with us because it was her trip, but she got sick, so she didn't come. But we already had everything planned as far as the Disney part went, so we went ahead and went. So she came down here this past Friday, and I didn't have a relationship with her. I didn't talk to her. We don't get along. We've been like this for years. We'll talk for a little bit and then we'll stop talking. So her and my mom, they planned this trip. I had nothing to do with it. So I didn't know where she was staying. I thought she was staying either at a hotel or Airbnb. So my mom comes and picks me up Friday because I had to go to Walmart and get some groceries, get a few things, and then also we're gonna pick up my son from his dad's house because it was my weekend to have him. So I get in the car with my mom, and she drops a bomb on me that my niece and her 2-year-old son are staying with her. So that was news to me, but okay, I'm gonna stop here. That's literally all I needed to say, but I needed the beginning because it wouldn't make sense for me to start it where it is, because I was missing the clip of the intro and me explaining what I just explained to y'all. But I'm gonna pick up on the rest of it with what I recorded the other day. Hold on. Okay, so I am gonna have to throw in this part. I knew that first clip had more to it than what I just recorded. This is what happens when you lose a clip. You forget some of what you said. But I'm not going to go through all that to record on my camera. So I'm just going to record this on my phone and turn up the damn volume. Before I let it go to the next part, I'm going to give y'all a little backstory, because I know I said that in the original clip. I'm going to give y'all a little backstory. I'm going to back up a little bit, because I know y'all hear me say all the time. Hold on. I know y'all hear me say all the time that I'm a only child. And for me, in my mind, I am an only child. But when y'all hear me say my niece, you're gonna be like, well, how are you an only child and you have a niece? So clearly you have a sibling. Okay. I just want it to make sense, because it's not gonna make sense unless I explain it. I do have a sister. but my dad didn't raise her. And there's a huge gap between, if I'm looking away, I'm sorry, I'm doing something on my TV real quick, sorry. But there's a huge gap between me and her age-wise. Like, my sister is old enough to be my mom. Her and my mom were pregnant at the same time. My nephew is a month younger than me, which is so damn weird to be an aunt and your nephew is the same age as you. Like, that never happens. Like, I'm supposed to be way older than him. So you see what I'm saying? My sister is old enough to be my mom. So there's a huge age gap between us. And then he didn't raise her. And then she's from Philly. I'm from Florida. I am an only child. And we never really had a relationship when I was growing up. And I would try to have a relationship with her, when in reality, she should have been the one trying to have a relationship with me, seeing as that she's older. The older siblings are supposed to kind of lead the younger siblings, in my opinion. But I, at this point, have just kind of chalked it up to she just doesn't really know how to love, because she didn't have a mom or a dad. Her mom didn't want her. Her mom gave her away to my dad. She only saw her mom one time in her whole life. I think my dad said she was like 15 and he took her to see her mom, and her mom was dying then. So her mom didn't want her. And then back when my sister was born, especially as a black person, you had to work. And working back then meant traveling. You know, back then a lot of black people dealt with fruits. And with that's seasons. So you have to travel, you know, like oranges in Florida, this is an orange state. Oranges only grow certain times of the year. My dad would deal with strawberries. They only certain times of the year. You know, all the fruits and vegetables are seasonal. So he couldn't take a baby with him. So he left her with his mom. His mom raised her. Given he definitely could have did better, he should have went to see her more. And when he met my mom, me as a woman, I'm not going to be with a man that's not taking care of his kids. I'm just not going to do that. My mom could have did better. She should have made him step up as a dad. But that's all before my time. But I'm saying he definitely could have did better. But I also understand back then working for black people was really hard, and they had to go to where the money was, and you can't take no baby with you, and he's a single father, you know what I'm saying? And somebody recently also brought it to my attention that maybe my sister is jealous of me, and I never really thought about that. And that could be why she hasn't ever really tried too hard to have a relationship with me or been much of a big sister to me, maybe because she's a little jealous. And I guess I would be too if I was her, because neither one of her parents were there for her. Her mom just didn't want her, and my mom loves me. And my dad raised me. Our dad raised me. For me, he's my dad, because, you know, in my mind, I'm always going to be an only child. So she doesn't know the man that I know. My dad was very hands-on with me. He was there every single day. My dad didn't miss a beat with me. So she doesn't know the man that I know. And then she grew up in Philadelphia, and if you know Philadelphia, it's rough. And Upper Darby, it's a very rough area. Well, it wasn't rough back. Well, I don't know when she was a kid if it was rough, but when I went up there, it wasn't so rough. But now I've heard that it's rough again. I don't know. I haven't been up there since I was 17, I think. It wasn't so rough, but compared to Florida, Philly's just a rough area. And I'm an only child. You know, I grew up spoiled. My parents, by the time I was born, were good financially. I had a lot, and she didn't have any of that. So I guess I would be jealous too if I was her. The fact that she doesn't know the man that I know in my dad, and her mom didn't want her, and I had a way better life than she had. So I guess I would be jealous too. But at the end of the day, that's also not my fault. All that was done long before I was even thought of. To put that on me isn't right. But it is what it is. That's something she should have took up with our dad. Anyway, we didn't have much of a relationship. We would talk here and there. I've seen her a handful of times my whole life. Since I've moved out on my own, this is probably the most, not probably, this is the most that we've ever talked, but it's only been on the phone. I haven't seen her since our dad's funeral in 2018, and that was a really quick passing. She literally, her, my niece, and my nephew literally just came to the funeral and left. They didn't spend no time, nothing like that. They literally just came to the funeral and left. If I don't have a relationship with my sister, it kind of makes it hard for me to have a relationship with my niece and my nephew. I mean, we're all adults now, but you know, it puts a strain on that, you know, and my dad is kind of to blame for all that. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of the backstory so maybe you can understand a little bit more. And also, like I said, I know y'all hear me say all the time, and you're gonna continue to hear me say I'm an only child, but I don't want y'all to think back and be like, but didn't you say you have a niece? How do you have a niece if you're an only child? For me, in my mind, I'm always gonna be an only child. I can't really claim a sister that was never around, that I never really had a relationship with. I mean, I know she's there, but she's not there, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's always been just me. Just wanted to give y'all a little bit of a backstory. So now we're going to continue the story, but I just wanted y'all to understand. I was wondering why that damn clip was so damn short that I just recorded, because I left this part out. So, okay, now we can continue. Sorry that this beginning is all over the place, but I lost the whole clip. I don't know where it is. So I'm just trying to explain what I explained on that clip. So, okay, back to the story. Okay, so I just very quickly, I know y'all gonna be like, damn, but these are things that I had in the first clip that things are coming to me now. Another reason why she may have felt some type of way, or maybe even had a little bit of jealousy in her, and I'm sure she felt some type of way about it. The fact that my parents were together, and her dad and her mom were never together. I guess they just had sex and made a baby. But my mom and our dad were together for 53 years up until he died 4 years ago. She probably felt some type of way about that. You know, the fact that her mom never wanted her. My dad didn't raise her, his mom did. And the fact that her mom and my dad were never together, and my parents were together. My mom was with our dad. So I'm sure that made her feel some type of way. By the time I was born, my parents had been together for 18 years. You know, at that point. And they were together up until my dad died, 53 years. I'm sure that made her feel some type of way too, but all of that had nothing to do with me. But I felt like I'm the one that's in the middle of it when I should have been in the middle. He should have made us have a relationship, or tried to have us build a relationship, and she should have done more as an older sister. But that's neither here nor there. I am going to talk about that though, because I feel like these are the types of conversations that need to be had, but I'm not going to talk about that in this, because this is already long enough and I'm about to add this little piece to it. But I just wanted to include that because I know I said that in the clip that is missing, but it goes with the whole story and how all the shit that popped off with my niece popped off. It all stems from all of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sure she also felt some type of way about the fact that, you know, like I said, my parents, our dad and my mom were together in a real relationship, and our dad was never with her mom. And the fact that I had both my parents, she had neither one of her parents. So I'm sure that that probably trickled down to my relationship with my sister, even though it shouldn't have, because I had nothing to do with any of that. All that shit happened long before I was ever thought of. I was just born into this shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't control the fact that he was never with your mom and she was just somebody he fucked around with. I don't know for how long. I can't control that he was with my mom. I can't control the fact that your mom didn't want you. I can't control the fact that he left you with his mom, although I'm gonna talk about that because I kind of see that from his point of view a little bit. And I can't control that my parents were together and he wasn't with your mom. Like, I can't control none of that. All that shit happened long before me. But yeah, I just wanted to include that because I know I said it in the clip that is missing, and it has to do with all of this. So, okay, yeah, I'm done adding shit to this at this point, though, because this shit is already an hour. And now I'm about to add 4 more minutes to it. But okay, that's it. Okay, but this is where I made my mistake. I opened up my big mouth, and I was like, she can stay a night with me. Lesson learned, not to do that shit again. So, okay, cool, whatever. The evening is good. We're all kikiing. We're having a good time. So I didn't know she was going to stay with me that night. That would have been Friday night when she came into town. I thought she was going to stay with me Saturday night because she was here from Friday until Monday. She left yesterday. So that would have been Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I thought she was staying with me Saturday night. But she ended up staying with me Friday night. We get back to my apartment and she says that she wants to stay all 3 nights. Okay, cool, whatever. I gave her my son's room and I told him that he was gonna have to sleep on the couch. No big deal. The couch ain't gonna kill him. It's 3 nights in a row. You know, it's her and her son, her 2-year-old son, and it's just him. So I made him give up his room and I gave her his room. So I walk into my son's room. She has unpacked everything. Her and her son's shit is all over my son's apartment. I mean, all over my son's bedroom. His entire dresser is full of her shit. Half of his floor is full of her shit. Okay, I don't say nothing, but I'm already triggered. I go in his bathroom. Her hair stuff all over his counter. Okay, I don't say nothing. I'm triggered times 2. When we went to Walmart, she got some things that she wanted her and her son to eat, and I guess she was gonna cook breakfast one of the mornings that she was here. She got him some already cooked frozen chicken tenders. So I put them in the oven, recooked them for him. Well, I guess reheat them. I cut them up. He eats what he wants out of them. And she leaves the pan of what he didn't finish on my countertop. Okay, don't say nothing. Now I'm triggered times 3. I cooked real food for her, myself, and my son. She left her plate on my countertop instead of throwing it away. Okay, don't say nothing. After I have fed everybody else and made sure that everybody else have ate, mind you now, I had not eaten at all. I woke up, left, went with my mom. I left and went with my mom sometime after 3 p.m. Didn't get back home until like 9:30. Didn't get done cooking and sat down and ate until damn near midnight. There's a certain show that I watch on Friday and Saturday nights. It comes on every Friday and every Saturday. It's a police show. So I'm waiting for this show every week. The end of the week. I sit down with my food, finally, and I'm getting ready to watch this. And she has the nerve to tell me she don't watch stuff like this with her son. Telling me what I can and I can't watch in my apartment on my TV. He's 2 years old, first of all. Second of all, this is my fucking apartment. You watch whatever the hell I want to watch. This is my apartment. But okay, I don't say nothing. So I don't watch what I want to watch on my TV in my apartment. Not to mention there's also a TV in my son's room. Well, take your ass in there and watch TV then. Or if you don't like how I do things, you can go. But okay, I didn't say shit. Let it go. So when I tell you that I'm super fucking triggered at this point, I watch something else to appease her, trying to be a nice host on top of everything else. So as you just heard the air freshener in here go off, I have one of those in my son's room, the Glade automatic spray air fresheners. I am a firm believer that you don't put your hands on things in other people's places. It does not belong to you. And if there's something that you want to touch, you ask. She comes out of my son's room, sits the air freshener on my coffee table and says, I'm going to take this out of here. It's messing with my allergies. She doesn't ask me. She doesn't say, hey, this is messing with my allergies. Is it okay if I take this out of here? out of his room. It's the principle. It's how you do things. You didn't have no business putting your hands on it because it don't belong to you. It's mine. And you ask. You don't tell me. You ask. It's like, damn. I know my sister was a single mom, but damn, she didn't raise you to have a little bit more decency. She didn't raise you the right and the wrong way to do things. She didn't raise you to know that you don't put your hands on shit that don't belong to you. She didn't raise you that you ask, you don't tell in somebody else's home. Okay, so again, didn't say shit. But at this point, that's my final straw. I already knew. Ain't no way I could last 2 more nights. She's got to go. And she's very hostile. I'll get into that in a little bit as to why I sent a text instead of talking to her directly. But I'm already knowing she got to go. This ain't going to work for me. I waited for her to go to sleep. I also wanted time to think about it and make sure it was what I wanted to do, because I know it was going to be some drama that came after. But it didn't matter to me because I want to be comfortable in my home. I waited for her to go to sleep and I sent her a long text message and I explained to her exactly how I felt, how she was making me feel uncomfortable, how she couldn't stay with me the rest of the time. She needed to go back to my mom's house. And I wasn't mean, I wasn't rude, I wasn't disrespectful. I just laid it all out. I told her why, and I told her she needed to go back to my mom's house. And I'm thinking, because I knew that we were going to go do something that next day, that Saturday, because she wanted her son to see something. And then we already had Disney planned for that Sunday. But I told her in the text message, I was just like, I'll see y'all on Sunday. I took myself out of Saturday because I just kind of knew the shit wasn't going to go right. And I didn't want to be included in anything where my mom wasn't going to be there. And I just didn't want to be included in Saturday. So I was just like, I'll see y'all Sunday at Disney. So this girl wakes up, storms in my room. I'm sleeping. This is like 10:30 in the morning. I didn't lay down until like 6 in the morning. So I'm sleeping. She storms in my room, already with an attitude after reading my text. What's the problem? And me half asleep and half awake, I semi-explained to her what the problem is. This girl gets all kinds of mad, threatens to fight me, saying all kind of shit, saying that's why nobody don't mess with me, calling me weird. And I could hear her on the phone with my sister, her mom, talking all kind of shit about me. And I think she was on the phone with other people talking shit about me. Tells me to stay in my room while she packs herself, like she's just going off. Instead of being an adult and just coming in my room and saying, you know what, I'm sorry that I made you feel uncomfortable in your home. That was not my intention. I don't ever want you to feel uncomfortable in your home. It's fine. I'll pack my stuff and I'll go. This girl is a full-on hurricane. Temperature is on a level 10 when it should be on a level 4. I get it, I'm kicking you out, but it's not that serious. Just go to my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. My apartment is nicer than my mom's house. And she was going to have to share a bed with her and her son in my mom's bed. And my mom smoked cigarettes. So y'all going to be in hell and all that shit. And the fact that you're sharing a bed with her when she go to bed, you got to go to bed because where you going to go, her house is full because there's other people that stay there. And with me, I gave you a whole bedroom and I'm up all night. So, you know, you can stay up as late as you want. You got a whole bedroom. But you got to go to my mom's house. But how she acted was just so uncalled for. She's literally fussing as she's walking out my apartment and down the stairs. When it shouldn't have been all that. She was doing way too much. And you're threatening me. Like, it was insane. You're on the phone talking shit about me to people, calling me all kinds of names, telling me not to call my sister no more, her mom, saying she's never going to talk to me again, as if that matters. I didn't talk to her before she came down here, so that part didn't matter to me. Now I'm not only done with her, I'm done with my sister because she let it slip. And now I know that my sister's been talking shit about me to her. Okay, so this is why I'm done with my sister. Because in the midst of my niece being mad at me and spewing everything, she says, and don't be calling my mom with certain things that I've told my sister. So that lets me know that what I've shared with my sister between me and her, she has taken to her daughter. When if I'm talking to you, what we talk about is supposed to stay between us. You ain't supposed to be running your mouth and telling my personal shit to other people. It ain't none of their business. They're not on the phone. If it was meant for them to know, then they would be on the phone too. So now I know my sister is a snake. I'm done with her too. Also, if my sister wants to be done with me or don't want to talk to me over something that ain't have nothing to do with her, I get that's her daughter, but it ain't got nothing to do with you. And family is gonna fight. Family gonna go through it. But if you really love somebody, you ain't gonna stop talking to them over no normal family beef. You know what I'm saying? You gonna still be cool with them. So if that's how she want to be, that lets me know she's fake as fuck anyway. And I don't need to be dealing with her anyway. But it's just the fact that now I can't trust you. You running and telling people our conversations. And most of the time when I do talk to my sister, when I do talk to her, the little bit that I do talk to her, it's normally always some personal shit. So now I know you telling my business. Or even if it's not personal, what we talk about is supposed to stay between us. Your daughter done let it slip that you've been telling my business and telling our conversation. So I can't fuck with you. You're a snake. And I run away from snakes. You know what I'm saying? They're deadly. They're not to be trusted. I'm done with my sister on that alone. It don't stop there. My son, he left with my niece that Saturday when all this shit happened because the stuff she wanted to do that Saturday, he wanted to go. And that was fine with me. I didn't care. Just bring him back. You know, clearly where she gonna take him to. She don't know nothing around here. But I'm on the FaceTime with him and she touches his phone and hangs up on me. Like, no. Like, that was the final straw for me. I could have been calling my son and telling him that it's an emergency. And at the end of the day, I'm his mother. You don't ever touch somebody's phone and hang them up when they're on the phone with their parent. That's crossing so many lines. That's disrespectful on so many levels. And again, it goes back to the, you don't put your hands on shit that don't belong to you. That phone belongs to me. It's in my name. But you just don't do that. You don't hang the phone up on somebody when they're talking to their parent. That's so fucking disrespectful. Again, man, she wasn't raised right to not know these common sense things. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't got no common decency. For me, that was a final straw. Now let me go back a little bit and explain to you a little bit why I felt the need to send a text instead of telling her to her face. First of all, I was trying to keep the peace and I was trying to be a good host, clearly, because a bad host would have said something the first time. I let her get away with so much, but I was trying to be a good host and I was trying to see if we could, you know, finally be cool and squash the shit, and it was a good night. But she just wasn't raised to know what common decency is and how you act accordingly when you're in somebody else's place, clearly. So that was the first reason I was, you know, trying to be a good hostess and just trying to keep the peace. And the second reason is because, like I said, she's very hostile. I'm going to give y'all 2 examples that happened that night alone within a 2-hour period before we got back to my apartment. The way that my mom's house is and her driveway, she has like a 3-way driveway. You can drive on the side of her house and it'll bring you in and out to the front and to the back, that we call it, of her house. Then she has another way where you come from the road and pull into the yard. Then there's another way where you can go in. There's another way. So where my niece had her car parked, she had her car parked on the front of the house, so she had to pull out onto the road, or she could have drove on the side of the house and pulled back into the front of the driveway, because we had groceries and stuff like that, and her son's car seat was in my mom's car, and we were using her car clearly to drive from my mom's house to my apartment. So when she was pulling out of the driveway, the first driveway, to pull into the second driveway from the front of my mom's house to pull into the back of my mom's house, there was a white van. I don't know what happened between them two because I wasn't looking. When I looked up, whatever had happened already happened, but I know that I heard the van honking and then my niece honked. And right then I'm just like, this girl is crazy. Like, don't do that shit. If he did something wrong, let him or whoever was driving that van have it, because road rage is real. People ride around with guns waiting for somebody to shoot over some bullshit for no real reason. What if they would have had a gun and shot you? If that's how you handle yourself in Philly, keep that shit up there. You're in Florida, and unlike you, I care about my life. I was outside, and my son was outside, and my mom was outside. Your son is outside. There's people that live in the house with my mom. They're home. You're putting all these lives at danger possibly because you can't control your temper. Something as simple as you honking that horn back at that person could have made that person pull out a gun and start shooting. And it's pretty sad that you don't care more about your own child's life. If you don't cut that kind of behavior, if not for yourself, for your kid, you're somebody's mom now. You can't be that irresponsible. People die every day over road rage, and it be bullshit like the person in the car next to them looked at them wrong and they followed them somewhere and started shooting. Like, it's crazy ass shit happening on these roads every day. People honking at people and somebody getting killed at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be doing that kind of shit, man. Road rage is very real, and will get a real bullet put in you, and a bullet ain't got nobody's name on it. So that was the first thing. Later on, like an hour later, if that long later, we went by the dollar store because she wanted some damn ketchup and mustard. I still, to this day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days later, cannot tell you what the dude did wrong. I still don't. Like, she just really has anger problems. So I got out because I went in the store to pay for the stuff, and I had my car door open, and a dude just walked past my car door going into the store. She looked at me and she was mad as hell. Did you see how he walked past your door? What if you had a gun and would have shot him? These people out here crazy, or they're wilding or something like that, she said. And I didn't say nothing, but I'm looking at her like, girl, are you okay? All he did was walk past the door. Like, that's what's going through my mind. I didn't say nothing, but I'm like, in my mind, like, what is wrong with you? Like, you have some real issues. This is not normal for people to act like this. She was like, well, he could have walked around to the other side of the car. And I just, literally all he did was walk past my door. Like, as long as he had enough room to get by, he didn't try to touch the door. He didn't try to touch me. He didn't look at me. He didn't say nothing. What is your problem? Like, the girl be spazzing. Both of these incidents happened literally within an hour of each other. So that's why I felt like me sending her a text message would be best, because you can't talk to her, and if she's spazzing over somebody walking past a door and somebody honking, this ain't somebody that I even want to spend time with anyway. You got anger problems. You have temper problems. You go from 0 to 1,000 before you can blink your eyes. That's not normal behavior. Normal people don't act like that. I've never seen somebody spaz like that. Like, the shit is crazy. something is wrong with her. Like, she needs to see a therapist. She might need to be put on some kind of medication. Something is wrong. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. That's also another reason why I don't want to deal with her. So I'm glad that it didn't go past that first night, because the girl be spazzing for no reason. Like, I still don't understand how you get mad because somebody walked past the car door. That is the gist of what happened. And I have talked to some of my family members. Okay, so I am going to interrupt this vlog here. I am gonna stop it here and come back with part 2 tomorrow, because I just feel like it's too long. I didn't want y'all to be sitting for an hour trying to watch the whole thing and hear the whole story. It's already at 35 minutes and 19 seconds right now. Part 2 will be tomorrow. So I hope that you enjoyed part 1. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow in part 2. Bye.